And welcome to Highbury, home of the FA Cup holders Arsenal, as the Gunners seek to extend their amazing record of just one defeat in their last 28 cup ties. Their opponents in this fourth-round replay, Bolton Wanderers, a famous old club who figured in the first ever Wembley final over 70 years ago. A really marvellous atmosphere in front of a full Highbury tonight. Arsenal, the most formidable team in England when it comes to cup ties, but they were relieved to earn a replay following their first meeting with Bolton at Burnden Park 9 days ago. Your commentator, John Helm.
Adams just contrived to give that ball to Patterson. Kelly keeps Bolton ticking up the middle. McGinley gets it through. Here's a real chance. McAteer has scored for Bolton. Now Winterburn, and Arsenal camping inside the Bolton half at the moment. Didn't come through for Wright, but it has fallen to Hillier, and now here goes Merson. He'll rip one in here, and Ian Wright! He's in there again. Quite astonishing. Oh, the free header, and Arsenal are in the lead thanks again to Tony Adams. Got to get it across there. That's good work. Tony Kelly. Stewart's Kelly. Chipped in here. McGinley. It's an equaliser. Owen Coyle has kept Bolton alive.
2-2, the final score then. Tonight, George Graham has taken the bold step of replacing a defender, Martin Keown, with a striker, Alan Smith. And Arsenal will play with what amounts to a four-man attack, with Paul Merson operating on the left. Arsenal already have the reputation of being the most difficult team in the whole league to score against, let alone to beat. They've gone 8 games without defeat, conceding just 3 goals. But will the switch to a more positive formation weaken that impressive defence? We shall see. Bolton Wanderers are forced into one change from their usual lineup. Central defender Mark Winstanley is injured. His replacement is Mark Seagraves, one of several Liverpool-born players in the Bolton lineup. Another midfielder, Jason McAteer, who, as you've seen, scored the first goal at Burnden Park, is currently attracting the interest of several Premier League clubs, including Arsenal themselves. Bolton are enjoying an excellent season in the First Division, and indeed in all competitions, they've lost just twice in their last 23 games. The Highbury pitch in absolutely perfect condition, and that's the end where all the Bolton Wanderers fans are gathered. Off we go then. Arsenal in the red and white, attacking from left to right. Dixon with the first long ball, the test for the new defensive partnership of Alan Stubbs, the big number 8 who headed that out of play, and Mark Seagraves, who hasn't played too many games this season, replacing Winstanley alongside him. And they will have the supreme test as well. Alan Smith, anxious to make his mark tonight. He also has spent most of the season on the Arsenal subs bench. Merson here, initially operating on the right-hand side, not the left, which he did in the first game at Burnden Park. Patterson out-headed. Here's Ian Wright. Good ball forward. Parler in possession. Bold. Winterburn. It's one of the narrowest pitches in the country here at Arsenal. You can probably gather that from your pictures, and certainly it tends to make play rather compressed in the middle, but Lee's found a little bit of room. David Lee, an excellent player, dispossessed at that time by Steve Bold, but Arsenal will know that they can't afford to give the Bolton number 7 too much possession on their right-hand side. And here he is. Beaten to it that time by Winterburn. Smith. Campbell couldn't hold it. The layoff by Hillier. And Adams keeps it moving out to Dixon. Merson. Right. Good challenge by Patterson, but Arsenal keep possession. Not too often you see Steve Bold getting that far forward in open play. Adams likes the sortie forward though, and has come up with some vital goals in cup ties in recent years. Number 9 is Owen Coyle for Bolton Wanderers, their leading goal scorer. Although he and John McGinley, not much between them. Bold couldn't go back to his goalkeeper there. Dixon comes to help him out. Now he's under pressure from Coyle. Coyle trying to force a corner here. And that's a foul in the end by Coyle. Not too happy with the referee Ashby's decision. Owen Coyle, who's a Republic of Ireland B international, signed for Bolton in the summer from Airdrie in Scotland. Not a very clever free kick by the Arsenal keeper David Seaman. The clock end there, just part of the massive redevelopment which has taken place here at Highbury over the last couple of years. And like so many now of the major stadia in England, it really is a ground to match some of the very best in Europe. Arsenal, of course, have enjoyed so much success, particularly in the cup competitions, but also 2 league titles since George Graham took over here. Knowing that they're unlikely to deprive Manchester United of the championship this season, even though they're in the running, Arsenal. They are, in fact, an incredible 21 points behind Manchester United at the moment, Arsenal, even though they're in 3rd place in the Premier League. Cracking the face there for Jason McAteer, but he's okay. Free kick played forward quickly towards Coyle. Jimmy Phillips, the covering player for Bolton. He's given it away. McAteer. Good ball forward by Adams. Campbell. He's got Wright alongside him. He's going alone. Good save. And in the end, Aidan Davison needed the help of his defender to get the ball clear. But his first save from Campbell was vital. A frightening sight. The awesomely built Kevin Campbell bearing down on him. Campbell in full stride here. Connected well. Davison in exactly the right place. Arsenal have the free kick. Wright and Campbell, a twin problem for the Bolton defenders. Merson takes it right-footed in swinger. And again, Aidan Davison, who was signed in the summer from Millwall and only broke into the first team here about 3 months ago now, replacing last season's ever-present Keith Brannigan. Davison again in the right place. Not the best kick, but he got away with it. McAteer lifting it forward. Lee. Back it goes to Brown, the right back. Adams clearance. Helped on by Parler. Number 4 is Kelly for Bolton. And now Lee. Mark Patterson, that's offside, is it? Yes. Called offside even before he hit it. Scored that late equaliser at Bolton, the extra time winner at Everton. Kevin Campbell had gone through a marvellous period recently with 7 goals in 5 games, but his last 5 games have failed to see him find the net just once. He's won a free kick now, though, with a challenge by Phil Brown. And the highly experienced Brown, who's played over 500 league games for 3 different clubs, argues the decision, but I don't really think he had a case. Nelson again will take it, and these right-footed in-swingers very hard for the defenders to handle, especially when the defenders from the other side, like Steve Bold, come in like that on the far post. Good save again by Aidan Davison. Beautifully flighted by Merson. Bold climbing higher than anyone. Fingertip save by the keeper. Nigel Winterburn will swing this one inwards as well with a left foot this time. That's a good one. And I must say, Aidan Davison's made a very impressive start here. Had knocked around in the lower divisions before moving to Bolton, played for Bury, not far away, of course, in that part of Lancashire. Also a short spell with Notts County. Lee. And he was rather lucky there. Winterburn, and that's a foul by Campbell. Phil Brown, who scored in an earlier round of the FA Cup this season for Bolton when they won 3-1 at Lincoln. Bolton Wanderers, incidentally, came into the competition, as we see again why this free kick was given, at the first round stage. Because they were promoted from the second division, as it was last season, they had to come in very early on, and they played, would you believe, Gretna Green in the very first round of the Cup, beat them 3-2. Here's Patterson for Bolton, and that's not a bad ball. Oh, good save. Seaman must have seen that shot from David Lee coming late, and he must have also thought that Arsenal dealt with the problem. But he is a very sharp goalkeeper, Seaman. Lee hit that one beautifully on the volley. That would have been some goal. Seaman had to be at his best this time for another shot from outside the penalty area. Excellent work by the Arsenal keeper. And easy to see why he has the best record of any keeper in the land. Poor clearance there, and McGinley's in! Bolton take the lead again! Seaman beaten from close range by John McGinley as Arsenal stood and watched and maybe hoped they would get an offside verdict that never came. The nod of approval from the manager for John McGinley's 21st goal of the season. How that one was kept in from the byline was a miracle. A very poor clearance by Parler. The Arsenal players stood and raised their arms, appealing for offside. And it must have been close indeed, but the flag did not go up, and McGinley got on with the job of scoring. 20 minutes gone, and the First Division side have taken the lead here against the FA Cup holders and third place team in the Premier League, Arsenal. Well, that's just what the game needed, really, from a neutral point of view. And the delight on the faces of those Lancashire fans, there for all to see. John McGinley, one of their great heroes, and here's their song in honour of him. Super indeed. It was a routine finish, but it was a superbly crafted goal. Well, 24 hours ago in England, there was a major upset when Charlton, also at the First Division, went to Blackburn Rovers, who are second in the Premier League, and Charlton won that game by 1-0. Are we to see another big upset here? Kelly flicking the ball on. That was the mistake by Parler. Then hooked back over his own shoulder by Brown. McGinley with the finish, but you have to say, when you see it again, it certainly looked as though McGinley was offside. Campbell. Right. Good challenge by Patterson. And walloped forward by Stubbs. Bowled underneath it, but he's given it away to Lee. That's a foul by Merson. McGinley the target again, and he got a real crack on the head then, McGinley. The referee's seen nothing wrong with it, but the Bolton fans predictably are furious about that challenge. And that's sporting play by Tony Adams to knock the ball out of play here so he could get treatment. And in fairness, I think that was a complete accident. I don't think Adams, who certainly isn't that type of player, was looking to hurt McGinley deliberately here. I think it was just an unfortunate angle that they collided. Well, there are some around who, defenders that is, who, and forwards come to that, who would try and hurt an opponent in that type of position, but Tony Adams, for my money, is not one of them. Well, now, the earlier injury to David Hillier, as I suspected, has proved more serious than we first imagined, and he's had to go off to be replaced by Martin Keown, as McGinley is able to continue despite his knock. But that'll be interesting again now for George Graham, who chose to change his formation and his tactics tonight, and is going to have to do so again now, because Hillier is not the same type of midfield player as Keown, who's basically a defender, and although he played in midfield up at Burnden Park, was given a marking job on McAteer. Here's Campbell. Right! Well, he only usually needs one glimmer of an opening, and he got one then. More unusually, he didn't convert it. Touched on by Smith, then by Campbell. Should have kept it lower than that. 24 goals this season, Ian Wright. That could have been number 25. Well, Bolton will regard it psychologically as vitally important that they hold out for this last, 11 minutes of the first half now, with their goal lead intact. Dixon did well there. Campbell not quite so well. Phillips. Bowles clearance. Kelly onto it for Bolton. Given away to Mercer. And this is not really where Arsenal wanted Alan Smith to be operating, inside his own half. That's where they wanted him. Dixon knocks it forward. Parler's made a good run into the box here, and two defenders go for the same ball, but Bolton have survived. Not much communication then in the Bolton penalty box. They got away with it though, for the moment anyway. Lee Dixon gets some length on these throw-ins though. The danger hasn't passed yet. Smith with the back header. Smith, yes! Alan Smith brings Arsenal level. 10 minutes to go to half-time, and Tony Adams, who has played such an important part in Arsenal's cup run already this season, got another vital touch on here. The long throw from Dixon. Adams with a little back header as it dropped between defenders and attacker. The ball ran loose, and Smith rifled it into the roof of the net. A classic set-piece goal by Arsenal. And 10 minutes before half-time, they have drawn level. Arsenal 1, Bolton Wanderers 1. Alan Smith, the Arsenal goal scorer. But a very big assist from Tony Adams. He just did enough with the header, dropped it down into the danger area. Half-time arrives at Highbury, and it's been a very good opening 45 minutes here. Bolton Wanderers fully deserved their lead, given to them when John McGinley scored from close range with just a hint of a suspicion of offside about the goal. Arsenal came back strongly, and from a throw-in forced their equalising goal, scored by Alan Smith. But there's little to choose between these sides, and the second 45 minutes is going to be very interesting indeed. Half-time score, Arsenal 1, Bolton Wanderers 1. So the second half underway here at Highbury. The half-time scoreline, Arsenal 1, Bolton Wanderers 1. And Bolton, if anything, shaded things in terms of the style of their football in the first half. Arsenal, as you would always expect, looked strong, but Arsenal found that Bolton's ability to knock the ball around caused them a lot of problems. 1-1, a pretty fair reflection on that first 45 minutes by and large, and a reminder again that the tie has to be finished tonight. Extra time if needed, and then penalties if needed. Parler's cross almost met on the near post by Alan Smith, and they've got a corner out of it, Arsenal. Good positive start to the second half by them. Reminder that John McGinley gave Bolton Wanderers the lead. Alan Smith equalised for Arsenal, who have had to make one substitution. David Hilliard going off injured to be replaced by Martin Keown. Only one player cautioned as well in that first half, Bolton's goal scorer McGinley. Winterburn's kick, and the keeper was impeded. No doubt about that. I think he was grateful, mind you, the whistle went, because he didn't make a very clean contact with the ball. Watch for the goalkeeper here. Well, again, when you see it, they always seem to get the benefit of the doubt. It's arguable as to whether he was impeded or actually ran into the Arsenal player. I think it was Adams. But the goalkeepers union has done a good job on referees. They almost always get the free kick in situations like that. Brown clashing there with Wright and losing out, and Wright takes on the second defender, Seagraves, and is round him as well. Good tackle though in the end by Stubbs. Fearsome sight for the goalkeeper with Ian Wright coming in on him. Stubbs to the rescue of Bolton. Well, a most peculiar ball then by Parler. And that wasn't that much better either. He really gave Patterson the chance to intercept. Well, they've started strongly here, Arsenal, and Bolton have hardly been out of their half in the first couple of minutes. Now they might. Kelly. They've got a free kick. Foul on Coyle by Steve Bold. Over McGinley's head, Bold let it run on. It was a poor free kick. And now they're back under pressure again. Lovely turn by Merson. And a very good challenge. Phil Brown. Bolton were promoted as runners-up in the second division last season behind Stoke City, and were last in the elite, the top division in English football some 13 years ago. They're on the attack here with Coyle, and he almost puts Lee in, and he goes down under the challenge from David Seaman, and the referee says no penalty. Well, my instinctive reaction was that Lee was looking for a penalty there, but that doesn't alter the fact that had this challenge by Seaman been deliberate, maybe he ought to have had one. Well, now that is a highly debatable issue, because I think David Seaman, and we'll see it better now from this angle behind the goal, I think Seaman realised that the ball had gone away from him here and left his arm outstretched. It was a lovely little ball by Coyle here. Now, judge for yourself. I believe that should have been a penalty. I have no doubt that Lee might have been looking for a situation like that, but Seaman left his hands there when the attacker had skipped by him, and I really think Bolton deserved the penalty. Good header by Smith. Again, very cool and calm defending though by Bolton, and an excellent ball by Phillips. I'm really full of admiration for the way Bolton have attacked this job tonight. They've got a free kick there. Adams is trying to claim McGinley dive. It would certainly be true to say you could not really detect that there was a difference of one whole league between these two sides. Good header down, finds Coyle in space. Ooh, that wasn't a bad effort. I think I'll give David Seaman the benefit of the doubt that he had that covered on his left-hand post. But Owen Coyle, who scored the late equaliser in the first game, with a good snapshot left-footed. I think Seaman knew where his geography was, so to speak, then, though. Smith. Keown, good ball. Winterburn. Campbell. And I think this will be the opportunity, if it's not gone out, it has now, for Ian Wright to go off. And Eddie McGoldrick, who is a natural winger, will take his place. And I think the implications for Arsenal might turn out to be more serious than just the loss of Ian Wright in this game. As I mentioned before, hamstring injuries do have a tendency to take a long time to heal properly, 3 or 4 weeks sometimes, or worse. And if they lose Ian Wright for that period of time, it will be a blow. Eddie McGoldrick can operate equally well down the left or the right, but he is not, of course, a striker in the Ian Wright mould. That's a corner. "20 minutes to go at Highbury. 1-1. Touched on there by Bold and then back in, and Campbell had a terrific chance there from what you can see yourself. 3-4 yards out. And somehow didn't convert it. And dare I say, if that had dropped to Ian Wright, I'm sure it would have been in the back of the net. He's just gone off, and Campbell should have scored. It came to him quickly, in fairness, and he had to turn and try and hit his shot all in one movement, but from that range you'd expect a goal. Must drive managers mad, that the endless hours these professionals spend on the training ground practicing shooting, and then when it comes to the real thing they sky it behind the goal. Good challenge there. Coyle playing it forward, but too far forward. Well, at the moment, you'd have to say that neither side deserves to lose this tie. They both played pretty equally well. Somebody's got to lose, and somebody has got to win tonight. And it could be Arsenal through Smith. Well, Arsenal have certainly had 2 clear-cut openings in this second half, indeed in the last 10 minutes or so, and this was another one of them here. The bounce totally deceiving the defender Seagraves, and Smith perhaps had more time than he'd realised. Could have taken it on a stride or two. Was an unusually high bounce on a soft pitch. Good tackle by Walker, but Fowler wins it back. Foul then on Alan Smith. And the clock ticks on. We've got just a shade over 10 minutes to play. One all the scoreline. Was a totally bizarre incident. In the end it came off McGinley and has gone through a corner, and it was a pinball machine for a moment in the 6-yard box. I thought that was on its way in, and quite how Bolton kept it out I'm not sure. We'll have to have the benefit of the replay to work that one out. McGinley, the last player, it came off from his own defender's clearance. Corner kick to Arsenal, who turn the screw a little tighter here. Merson, and again Merson well off target. Strange incident, though, that led to that corner. Played in here towards Campbell. Touched on by the defender. Then Stubbs tried to clear it and whacked it straight against his own man. It could have been a bizarre own goal, that. So he'd have been a bit closer. Good work by Winterburn. Textbook full-back play then. Now Brown for Bolton. They're going to get it in the box to have any hope now. And it goes towards McGinley. And David Seaman was always the favourite then. I still look back on that moment, though, earlier in the half when he might have conceded a penalty and wonder if they've been undone here. And they could have been totally undone by Kevin Campbell, who has missed an absolutely glorious opportunity to win the tie and be an instant hero. Booed by the Arsenal fans, which is not a thing you would like to hear directed against any player, but that really has to go down as one of the misses of the season. He was completely in the clear and totally mishit the shot. So for the second time in this half, Kevin Campbell has scorned an absolutely glorious opportunity. Dixon swings it into the box once more. Smith trying to set it up for Merson. Good shot, well saved. First shot he's gone on target. Davison equal to it. And then a mistake by Adams. Not a serious one, though. Mind you, it's been given away again. And they go forward once more. And the shot was well off target from Walker. I think that'll be extra time now. But isn't it amazing? Both sides, and certainly Arsenal anyway, have had opportunities in the last couple of minutes of normal play to clinch victory. Arsenal looking the stronger and the more likely still to get a winner here. Merson for them. McGoldrick. Done well, he's forced the corner. Bolton players pointing to their watches. Are we to see a repeat of Millwall in the previous round? Can Arsenal snatch a late winner again here? It goes in towards Bowl. He and Keown got in each other's way. The keeper fists it clear. Straight back in again from Parla. And it's deflected off a Bolton defender for another corner. We've had something like 3 minutes of stoppage time now. McGoldrick takes the kick. Keown just failed to get his head to it. Campbell's got something to prove now. Parla. Dixon. Got to get into the penalty area here. And so it does eventually from the cross. Keown again just beaten to the header. Lean lashes it clear. Walker releases the ball first time for McAteer. But again, Arsenal just too canny at the back. Winterburn. Can't believe how much stoppage time the referee is playing here. 3 coming up 4 minutes now. Surprised Walker didn't go in on the goalkeeper then, because he couldn't have picked that one up. Kelly. Phillips. That's it. The end of 90 minutes at Highbury. And it has ended in deadlock. However, Campbell shakes his head, knowing that Arsenal should now be going back to the dressing rooms with a place in the next round secure. He has missed a couple of great chances to win the game for Arsenal, but now the match will go into half an hour's extra time, and if they're still level after that, penalties to decide who meets Aston Villa in the next round. Full-time score at the end of 90 minutes, Arsenal 1, Bolton Wanderers 1. Paul Brown will take it. McGinley in the box almost alone at the moment. Here's Kelly. He can hit the ball, Kelly. They shouldn't let him have a sight of goal. Well, they didn't, and he wasted it anyway. Stubbs gets there ahead of Campbell. Now Brown for Bolton Wanderers. 1-1 at the end of 90 minutes. We're playing the first period of extra time here at Highbury. Good play by Jason McAteer. Equally good defending by Keown. And the free kick's come against him, and I've got to disagree with the referee on that. I didn't see anything wrong. Anyway, it's hoisted far too early and inaccurately into the box. Keown still saying, well, what did I do wrong? And I can agree with him on that. I couldn't see anything he did wrong. Well played, Smith. Now Merson. Good skill. Lee across to cover the cross. Winterburn will provide it instead. Headed away by Seagraves. Difficult this for Bolton. Parlour with the shot into the crowd of players. And the early ball forward for Coyle to chase. And it's been played straight to him. Oh, it's hit the outside of the post, but still a chance, yes! Bolton wants to score, McAteer gets it! Seaman beaten. Huge delight for Bolton Wanderers. They knocked out the FA Cup holders Liverpool last season. Can they do it again against the current holders Arsenal? And the man that Arsenal, it is rumoured, would like to sign has scored the goal that may well dismiss the holders from this year's competition. The first effort was a terrific one by Coyle against the post, and when it bounced out, McAteer was the player waiting. And it's his goal that's given Bolton a 2-1 lead, but Merson almost hits back immediately at the other end. Bolton are making Arsenal, at the moment anyway, pay a heavy price for all the missed chances. Merson, and especially Campbell, may rue some of those scorned opportunities. The two Macs have given Bolton a lead here. And here's the big Mac, Jason McAteer. That was his 6th goal of the season. Remember, he scored in the first match at Burnden Park. And here's how he scored again at Highbury. This was the one that rattled the post from Coyle. And it fell perfectly, but he had to be cool. They're missable, that's for sure. He didn't miss. And that might add another few grand to his value. Not, of course, that Bolton want to sell him. There's still time for Arsenal to come back, of course. Plenty of time. Still, actually, 20 minutes football to be played here. 5 more minutes to the end of the first period of extra time. But you did get the feeling here that whoever got the second goal in the game might well find themselves on the winning side. It's going to be hard for anybody to come back again now. Well, Arsenal, of course, the side who have to. But never, ever right half Arsenal, especially in cup ties. Here's Dixon. McGoldrick. Well played. Not quite strong enough, though, to get the cross in. Kelly concedes the throw, and it'll be all hands on deck for Bolton Wanderers now. They will have every man defending in their own half, particularly at this dangerous moment. A Lee Dixon long throw. Adams or Smith, the targets. And Coyle with the clearance, but that's good play by Walker then. Bit more pressure still for Bolton to sustain. Merson turning it into the box again. Good turn there by Smith. It hadn't gone out. Campbell kept it in. Merson. Easy for Davison. Well, who would have bet that Charlton Athletic would beat Blackburn Rovers at Ewood Park? Who would have bet that Bolton Wanderers could beat the FA Cup holders Arsenal at Highbury? Maybe part two of that particular unlikely equation might not yet come true, but Bolton are very close to another great FA Cup result here. Dixon for Arsenal. McGoldrick. Skidded off the defender's head, and that's a corner. The pressure will be intense on this Bolton goal, they know that. Adams, number 6, trotting forward again for Merson's kick. Headed away by Kelly, though, to Lee. He's got to relieve the pressure on his defenders now, just keep the ball. Keown sprints stride for stride and wins it off him. Good work by him. And cleared by Seaman. Tremendous clearance as well. And Campbell almost profited from the little hesitation there between defender and keeper. And if anybody needs a goal, it's him. Winterburn. Good ball, Smith. It was a brave header. And again, Adams has misplaced his clearance straight to Walker. Coyle galloping forward to Walker's left. Phillips. Straight at Bowl. Comes back again to Phillips, though. Chance for the cross here, and he's got a corner. Adams' challenge. Just what the doctor ordered for Bolton, because we're in the last minute of the first period of extra time. And again, psychologically, it will be so important for them to turn around here with a goal advantage. Kelly's corner kick. Not a bad one, but Seaman took charge of the situation, and he says, well, who am I going to give it to? They were all in his half of the field. McGoldrick. And again. Campbell in the middle. It's not his night, is it? That was by no means a clear-cut chance, unlike the two in the second period of normal time. But he was in a decent position, it has to be said. Bruce Rea, under 8 minutes away from another headline-making performance. Keown touches it on. It's only a throw. It can be as good as a corner almost to Arsenal. Some anxious faces now on that touchline as it comes in towards Smith. Oh dear, danger here, and Adams has headed over. Well, there's casualties all over the place in the 6-yard box. And the last touch might have been off a Bolton player. Let's have a look at it again here. Seems to me the referee's giving the corner. One or two brave headers in here as it was amazingly lifted back towards his own goal by McKinley. I thought Adams got the final touch, I must say, but I think the referee's given a corner. Well, the physio's been busy tonight. He has been like a boxing corner man. Well, every time I see that, I'm more than ever convinced that Adams got the final touch on the ball. But a corner it is. Merson takes it, and it's a good run. And Davison did very well again, the goalkeeper. Merson turning it back in again, another excellent cross. McGoldrick beaten to it by Lee. He'll go scampering away towards the corner flag if he can. Now, what's the referee going to decide there? He's going to decide goal kick, I think. 6 minutes to go. Arsenal 1, Bolton Wanderers 2 in this FA Cup fourth round replay. Who gets the prize of a home draw against Aston Villa? Campbell touching it on. Smith. The shot rebounds straight back to him. Now Merson. And anywhere will do for Bolton. In fact, it was a great clearance. And they've got 3 men forward here against 3 defenders. Lee. And it's a good ball. And Walker has the chance to clinch it. He has! Andy Walker! Bolton have done it now. The cup holders are out. To go in extra time, and Arsenal are 3-1 down to Bolton Wanderers. It looks as though Lee had held it too long. Amazingly, the challenge by Keown forced the ball exactly where Lee wanted to place it anyway, and Walker placed it exactly where he wanted to, in the back of the Arsenal net. It's his first goal for something like 10 months in senior football. Bruce Rioch can afford a sip of the magic drink now. Andy Walker has assuredly given Bolton a place in the 5th round of the FA Cup, and indeed something of a place in FA Cup history. And I'm not certain about this, but I doubt very much if ever before any team has knocked out the FA Cup holders on their own ground in successive seasons. Bolton almost certainly have achieved just that. It's not over yet, and Keown's shot was forced off the line. Header rather, was forced off the line. But they need 2 goals now just to force penalties. The scenes now at Highbury, unbelievable at the other end of the stadium. The Bolton fans, well, you can see and hear their reaction. And why not? What a tremendous achievement this promises to be. Liverpool last season at Anfield, Everton this season at Goodison, now almost certainly Arsenal at Highbury. The list of scalps goes on. And Aston Villa won't be looking forward to a visit to Burnden Park. You can be absolutely sure of that. 3 minutes on the watch here, as we see again how this shot almost crept in. He didn't mean to clear it with that foot, Phillips. He meant to get away with the left, and it hit him on the right. The second successive Premier League side they have eliminated from the FA Cup, and they've got another one lying in wait in the 5th round. They've made a fortune from this cup run, and a lot of friends as well. And they've made themselves a very valuable free kick here. Foul on Lee. And they've bought themselves some time. And the reward of this free kick is going to be enough in my book to see them through to the final whistle and victory. They're drifting home now, the Arsenal regulars. They know their prospects of a return to Wembley Stadium are over. They've got one more free kick to face, though. The Arsenal defenders, we want 4, is the shout. And they've got the ball! Incredible! But wait, I think the referee has ruled it out, and I'm not entirely certain why. It's all pretty inconsequential in the end, except for the fact that Bolton have had what looked a good goal chalked off. And now the referee's having a word with Keown, who he cautioned in the first half. And this could mean a red card if he's going to produce it. It is! It's a red card for Keown. Now, I can't shed much light on that, whether it was something he said or whether he moved out of the wall. I do not know. But the red card to Martin Keown, and that is a little bit of a mystery to me. And my word, they almost got another goal from the retaken free kick. Well, it's ending in high drama here at Highbury. and ending is what it's going to do. Well, it's ended for him, and it's ended for Arsenal, and it's going to end for everybody in a few seconds' time. It's ended, and Bolton Wanderers have beaten Arsenal, the FA Cup holders, by 3 goals to 1 with a magnificent performance. McGinley's goal set them on the way. McAteer got a second. Walker, the returning hero, got the clinching third. And Bolton deserve every moment of their celebrations. And Bruce Rioch is a hero again. The FA Cup holders are out, and the team from the First Division have once again dismissed a Premier League side. Joyous scenes of celebration. And Bolton Wanderers are getting used to this. They really are. Well, it's a long, long journey home to Lancashire, but I bet it will seem to disappear within minutes, because they will celebrate tonight, and who can deny them their celebrations? A marvellous performance. The final score then, in this FA Cup 4th round replay, after extra time, Arsenal 1, Bolton Wanderers 3. Bolton will be at home to Aston Villa in the next round.